Hey guys, Angry Beast here, bringing you some M16 gameplay on the map array, and I'm using a red dot on my M16 because that's how I like it, and I'm using the perk Scavenger, Sleight of Hand, and Hacker. At the M16, man, this gun has so much history behind it, it's not even funny. It's based off the AR-15, which in and of itself is a very, very successful civilian rifle. It's got like 4 variants, but this is the original variant in game. And you know what's funny is that the original M16 that was created in real life never had a burst fire mode. The burst fire was never seen until the M16A3, which is kind of funny, but just that just shows how much Call of Duty knows about real life, right? Now, one thing I really do like about the M16 in this game is its range and low recoil. This gun has the most range of any primary weapon in the game. Even any of the secondaries, actually, come to think about it, that has a drop off. See, like the sniper rifles and light machine guns have infinite range, so they don't count. But this has the most range of any primary weapon, and damage starts at a whopping 50 meters. And this is the only map where I'd say you would ever have any engagements that could possibly be over 50 meters apart. This isn't the best KD of a gameplay, ends up being something a little bit over 2 KD. But what I really found that was really exciting about this game is how many captures and defends I got. I end this game having something like 6 captures and 7 defends. And I know little captures like that where I hop on at the last second really shouldn't count, but I'll take them anyway for EXP or whatnot. My kill streaks in this game are actually quite high for what I like to run. I'm using the counter UAV, the sentry gun, and the attack helicopter. Unfortunately I don't have Ghost on because I do destroy a sentry gun later on in the game, but still trying to get that challenge done. Probably never do it because I don't run Ghost that often, but this is what the M16 is good for. If you can get a position of advantage and just slowly pick off your targets, you'll have a lot of success with this weapon. In any game that I've played with the M16, this has always been able to do stuff like this. It's always been the king of long-range gunfights, whereas its counterpart that's usually in a lot of games, the AK-47, is a little bit better at the close-range gunfights. But the low recoil on the M16 is what makes it so good, in my opinion. The range is okay. I mean, you're not really going to take that in consideration too often because generally it's going to be 2 bursts to kill no matter what the range is, unless you're getting lots of headshots. But it's got a good range. It's a low recoil, which you'll see come into play right here. I mean, I can just absolutely one-burst these guys from quite a long distance. Is what puts us at an advantage at longer range over weapons, say, like the AK-47. Its recoil goes pretty much nowhere on this weapon. And one of the things that's really effective on this gun that not a lot of people know is the thermal sight. On most weapons, what the thermal sight does is it decreases the center speed, which increases recoil. However, on the M16, for whatever reason, the developers decided to make the thermal sight God mode in this game, and they actually made it increase the center speed, which reduces recoil. So I've messed around with that quite a bit. I mean, I don't get gameplays like this with the thermal sight ever, but it's a lot of fun to run around with because you have almost no recoil at super long ranges with the thermal sight. And even up close, you can still hit fire pretty well. Now, I will say that the G11 is a little bit better up close than this weapon, but for a longer range role, this is my rifle of choice. I know there's the M14, which has that American feel to it as well, but there's just something about the M16 that has so much historical prevalence, and it's just a gun that everybody knows about. You ask anybody what the American rifle is, I'll bet you 9 times out of 10 they'll either say the M1 Garand or the M16. Now, unfortunately, the M16 really isn't in too much service today. I mean, it got replaced mostly by the M4, which is its carbine variant, pretty much, and the later variants on the AR-15 platform. But it is a very effective rifle in its own right as far as history goes. My kill streaks in this game, like I said, were the sentry gun, the counter UAV, and the attack helicopter. Now, I did like running them a little bit higher when I run this gun because I feel like I have a better chance of building up because of the way I have to play with it. This is definitely not an aggressive weapon. You're not going to have as much success as you would with other rifles running up and trying to kill people. But if you take a position of defense and just wait for your targets to come to you, it can be quite effective. This isn't exactly what I'd call a camping part of the game, but this is just me playing defensively, protecting the C flag here, and basically not letting anybody touch it. To me, this is playing the objective. I know a lot of people consider this camping. Notice my air quotes there. But, you know, it all comes down to personal preference. Some people find this to be slow game style, I find this to be just right for this weapon. You try and take your engagements any faster, you're not going to have much success with this weapon. Just how it is. Now, in previous Call of Duty games, the M16 has always been one of the most powerful rifles in the game. When you take in Call of Duty 4, it was by far the best weapon in that game. I don't think many people can argue with that weapon being slightly overpowered in that game. I mean, it was just able to one burst across the map every time because it had such a low delay between shots and bursts that made it super effective at any range. Even at close range, you still have a very good chance of killing a person if you were using an M16. In Modern Warfare 2, because obviously it didn't return in Modern Warfare 2, in World at War, in Modern Warfare 2, this weapon was absolutely insane. It was my personal favorite weapon to use in the entire game. I know a lot of people like the FAMAS better, but this had better handling characteristics, had a better raise and drop time, had a better reload, but in the end, they were pretty much clones of each other, unless you take the holographic sight into consideration. You use a holographic sight on the M16, and this weapon had no recoil, and that's what made it awesome. Little things about the M16 just set it apart from other weapons. You come over to Black Ops, and it's definitely a versatile weapon. It's definitely useful when you consider that you have a weapon like Commando, which is basically the fully automatic version of this weapon. There isn't too much of a reason, in my opinion, to use this weapon over it, unless you're just going for the feel and the history behind the gun, which is what I like to do. More often than the actual numbers for a weapon, I like to use the gun that has a lot of history, or a gun that has a lot of good sounds and good feeling to it. Because I've been known to run around with the PM63 Rapid Fire, which for all intents and purposes should be the worst submachine gun in the game. But in my hands, I just don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's the sound of the weapon, if it sounds really powerful, or what. It just feels like it's a two-hit kill submachine gun up close. Now, when you come over to Modern Warfare 3, this gun is by far the worst rifle in the game. I mean, even the MK14 is better than it. It's pretty much outclassed by the Type 95 in every way. The Type 95 outkills it at close range, and at longer ranges, the Type 95 has less recoil, even though it does take one more shot to kill. So, I've gotten some good gameplays in Modern Warfare 3 with the M16, and you can check on my channel for some of those. But as far as Modern Warfare 3 goes, this weapon is inferior in almost every way to the Type 95. But that's not why I use it. Like I said, I'll use inferior weapons if I feel like they have a lot of history or a lot of meaning behind them. In this game, I'm using the concussions and the frags. I don't think I get any kills that really have those factor in too much. And I'm using the motion sensor just because I am using hacker. Might as well go for those challenges as I can. At this point of the game, I'm actually worried about losing the game. We have a pretty significant lead, but this is the second time this game we've been triple capped because my teammates are completely oblivious at the end of the game, and you'll see some of the numbers, and it's just horrendous. And I always seem to be matched up against people like this. I don't know what it is, if there's some setting that I have enabled that says, enable me with the worst players in Call of Duty ever, but that's just what it seems to be for me. Luckily, though, we do end up winning the game. And they got a Huey up in the air. That's their second Huey in the game, and I don't know how he got it. If he's sitting back or trying to build up a kill streak or what. But the gameplay is like almost over, and we do get triple capped again. At this point, I'm pretty much yelling at my teammates to get off your thing, and those type of teammates are what I always seem to get matched up against. The people who will sit on top of a car for the entire length of the game. And I don't understand how that's fun to you. Yes, I am playing defensive with the M16. I can understand playing defensive. Oh, nice kill through the wall there. But when you just literally sit around and do nothing on top of a car, something about that just triggers me the wrong way. I don't know what it is, but I do end up winning the game for the team. Pretty much cap a couple critical flags at the end, and that's what the M16 I find is good for. It's good for playing the objective. It's not the best for slaying, and it's not the best for rushing or camping, but it's good for all around playing the objective. If you want to kill a person off a flag, I think you can rely upon the M16 in most situations to be able to do the job for you. Now, one rumor I've heard with the M16 is that the reflex sight works a lot like the holographic sight in Modern Warfare 2, but I've seen little proof of that, and it'd be interesting to check out. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't have that same effect, which really sucks. But they can't copy everything from Infinity Ward, or else someone would raise an eyebrow. Haha. And I played gun game in Modern Warfare 3 yesterday, and I honestly didn't like it. I found that there wasn't much competition. It was just people running around crazy shooting off guns, and that's not what it was in Black Ops. As my suspicions were confirmed, gun game in Modern Warfare 3 is not a good fit in my opinion. But you know, it all comes down to personal preference. I had fun playing the game, but I just felt like it wasn't the same as what I was used to, and that's hard when you're pouring in a game from another game. And I've heard that Team Defender's not coming back in Black Ops 2, and that kind of saddens me. You know, Team Defender is one of my favorite game modes. While I don't play it too often, I always have fun while playing it. But anyways, guys, this gameplay is winding down. There's just a couple points left in the game. And I want to leave you guys with a question. Do you think that Black Ops 2 will be a better game than Black Ops 1? Why or why not? Personally, I don't think it will be a better game. There isn't too much more that Call of Duty could really do to really catch my attention and make it a better game. I think the Modern Warfare 3 did a pretty good job other than their lag issues, but to be perfectly honest, Black Ops was a good game in its own right. There isn't too much to improve on other than removing Second Chance. And, you know, that just ends up being something that you just live with and you move on. You just keep shooting. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This ends up being something like a 29-14 with the M16, capping a lot of flags. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Angry Beast, and I am signing out.